All right, you guys. All right, you guys. What's going on, you guys? So, welcome to the locker room. Welcome to the lab. Y'all know how I am. So, I told you, um, turning this into like a locker room slash studio. So, got to get some more stuff. But, the end result, it's going to be pretty dope. So, I got to get some more stuff. But as you can see, I'm trying some different things. But as you guys know, I don't usually do these type of videos, but I felt the need that I had to go this direction. Y'all know I don't usually talk about these type of subjects, and I'm not inserting myself in anybody's beef, but at the end of the day, as a content creator, you know, I have to call the obvious when I see it. And I think it's about time I spoke on this particular subject and this particular person, and I'm going to reveal some stuff that I've noticed over the years about this one particular person. Now, I didn't want to put his, face on the avatar, basically the thumbnail because I don't want to be accused of clout chasing. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, people have their fan base, people have their subscribers, people have their minions that ride for them. Now, as you guys know, I talk about sports, I talk about pop culture, and I talk about a lot of different subjects, whatever I feel the need to talk about. But most people would consider me based off some of the subject matter that I talk about that I'm considered what you would call quote unquote pro black, conscious, righteous, whatever you want to call it. I don't like to use that word woke anymore because now the word woke has been hijacked from us as black people and turned into something different to support quote unquote other causes of other subject matter. But that's the story of America. Black people coming up with a concept and creating something, and then people take it from us and capitalize off of it, and a lot of times, in most cases, profit from it. But I want to talk about this situation that I seen recently, and it was brought to my attention with, one Dr. Boyce Watkins, and how he just out of nowhere attacked another content creator out of Detroit. Shout out to all my brothers from Detroit. Detroit got some real dudes, man. From Tyreek Nasheed and this dude. I'm not a subscriber of his channel, but I watch his videos. He say some good stuff. And his name is Anton Daniels. He's out of Detroit. He says some good stuff. Some people call it the manosphere. Some people call it, a lot of different things. But what I don't like is sometimes people call guys like him, and they used to call Kevin Samuels and other guys like O'Shea, Duke Jackson. They call them anti black woman, primarily anti woman, which that is not the case. Basically, he's trying to teach men to pick themselves up and to believe in themselves. And I'm gonna just say this: a lot of people, and rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. Listen, I'm gonna say this again: Kevin Samuels wasn't for everybody. And I said this when Kevin Samuels was alive. I said this after Kevin Samuels passed. I didn't agree with everything Kevin Samuels said, but he did more good than he did harm because he taught black men to start valuing themselves, having standards for themselves, and to believe in themselves and not be played, used, disrespected by a woman, especially a woman that was lower than them and that couldn't really do nothing for them, who basically didn't do nothing or bring nothing to the table. So a lot of women, a lot of bum ass women saw, nothing ass women saw Kevin Samuels as a threat. But the real disheartening thing is when Kevin Samuels passed, and you had a lot of women making videos, in particularly black women, celebrating Kevin Samuels passing, and that was just very distasteful, and it was just sad and it was despicable, and that's putting it lightly. But I noticed Dr. Boyce Watkins have now aligned himself into trying to attack Anton Daniels. Just like he tried to start a beef with Kwame Brown, like tried to accidentally act like he was trying to warn Kwame Brown about some of the stuff on his channel, but actually he was dry snitching. And Kwame Brown, being the smart man that he is, he picked it up. And, you know, Dr. Boyce Watkins regretted it. Because I mean, Kwame Brown like went in on him. But they have since squashed the issue that they have. And then Anton Daniels pulled up. Now, the thing that bothered me about Dr. Boyce Watkins is supposed to be a teacher. He's supposed to be a professor. He's supposed to be teaching people and giving advice about all, finances, investing your money. But my thing is, how come he ain't? My thing is, if he knows so much about finance, see, I could be just doing this to him, like what he do to people. Well, if he's such an expert on finances, how come he ain't a billionaire? I mean, you know, his net worth say he worth a couple of million, but he give all this investment advice. You would think he at least would be worth, a half a bill or something like that. But that's neither here or there. But he come out the gate saying that Anton Daniels looked like Rick Ross's cross-eyed brother. Came out the gate insulting him. Was that necessary? There are some dudes that's supposed to be held to higher standards, and he's supposed to hold himself to higher standards. But you come out the gate insulting the dude. Now, Anton Daniels did pull up on this show. Now, he could have came at Dr. Boyce Watkins real sideways. He could have said, hey, man, I don't appreciate you calling me out my name. But like, dude, that's the kind of stuff, if I see you, it might go down. I don't think he apologized. I listened to I listened briefly to them having a dialogue. I guess it was productive, but I don't remember Dr. Boyce Watkins apologizing for calling Anton Daniels out his name. The thing is, with him, Dr. Boyce Watkins has his philosophy, and Anton Daniels have his philosophy, just like I have my philosophy. But to sit up there and say, well, yours is better and somebody else's is stupid, is like, okay, well, where do you get that at? Where'd that come from? Listen, I don't expect everybody to talk about the same subject matter I talk about when it comes to talking about how to better the Black community. That's fine. If that's not your niche, if that's not your bag, that's fine. Do you? But the problem I have is when you start trying to take shots at dudes like me and other people who, are basically talking about that type of subject matter and making these little innuendos and stuff. Okay, now to a certain degree, since you trying to take like a backhanded shot, well, guess what? Then I have to put some powder on my hand and take a backhanded shot at you. And I'm within my right to do that. So, that's me. That's how I feel. Like I said, you do you, you do what's best for you. But then, like I said, a lot of these dudes come on here, they see what's hot and they try to align themselves to another content creator by trying to create fake beefs. Just like you done seen a couple of clowns do that when it pertained to the LDBC. People made a whole bunch of videos, taking shots at 7-8, the LDBC, people that's affiliated with the LDBC. But then it's funny when you respond back, then they want to play victim. And you see a lot of hypocrisy. You see a lot of hypocrisy with these dudes. Just like I see a lot of hypocrisy with Dr. Boyce Watkins. Just like now, for some reason, he making these videos like, disrespecting and talking bad on Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels been gone for almost 2 years. Let the man rest in peace. My thing is why I have an issue with Dr. Boyce Watkins now all of a sudden taking shots at Kevin Samuels. When Kevin Samuels was alive, you never reached out to him from my knowledge. Why didn't you ask Kevin Samuels to come on the show? I'm pretty sure Kevin Samuels would have came on the show. Kevin Samuels came on everybody else's outlet. That's my problem. If you had such an issue with him, but you wait till, you would take shots at him on your channel and stuff, and you would try to say what he's doing is problematic, and it isn't. At the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you, simp culture and Captain Saberhole culture has destroyed black men. And that's just real talk. And then you got people that basically demonize black men for standing up for themselves and standing up for black men. Now, I know Dr. Boyce Watkins' background, for the most part, I don't think he was raised with his biological father. But my thing with Dr. Boyce Watkins that I have to bring to the forefront, Dr. Boyce Watkins supposed to be just defender of women, and he wants to present himself as this dude that protects women and all this kind of stuff. But then keep in mind, Dr. Boyce Watkins has a whole bunch of highly profiled and documented issues with former affiliates and associates, from Michi X to Paris Milan to a few other people who made complaints about Dr. Boyce Watkins and how he treats them. And then we know that Dr. Boyce Watkins make you sign an NDA. And then, not to mention, he admitted that he stole Michi X's domain name. So that's my thing. You're supposed to be such a pundit and defender and protector of women, but you seem to have a lot of issues with women. And a lot of people are not bringing that up. So that's why I think, to a certain degree, I think Dr. Boyce Watkins need to fall back, and I think he need to pipe down before a lot of people start bringing that back up. Now, see, Anton Daniels, he could have went there, and a lot of other people could have went there with him. But I remember this stuff because I've been following Dr. Boyce Watkins since before he even got on YouTube. But then I have ignored a lot of different things that I've heard about him. From, before he got on YouTube to since I've been on YouTube, and I've ignored it. But then when I see him sitting up here basically taking, shots at other dudes because you may not agree with them, and then the way you going about it, then I have to say, hey man, what's up with this? Like I said, I look at black men and where we at. Black men is in a very sad state, in a very bad place. Like I said, black men are demonized for everything. Like I said, we are the only community, we are the only group of people where we get demonized if we try to stand up for ourselves. And then, to a certain degree, if we try to stand up for our women. Will Smith got ridiculed for basically standing up for his wife. Now, whether we agree that his wife deserves it or not, or deserved it, he should have did it, that's a totally different story. But then yet here we are, a few days removed from the Oscar, and then everybody is getting on Jimmy Kimmel for basically taking a shot at Robert Downey Jr. with his past drug issues. And then, saying what he said about Emma Stone. But nobody's talking this, people need to take a joke stuff. See how they always change the narrative? Now, all of a sudden, it's okay to, call people out. But when Will Smith did what he did, defending a woman, all of a sudden you had a bunch of simps, you had a bunch of cornballs, you had a bunch of white supremacists, all coming after Will Smith. I mean, he got it from everywhere. You had a bunch of suckers, you had a bunch of handkerchief heads. And like I said, that I think that whole 90 days after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, I'm talking about, there were literally thousands on top of thousands of videos, and people made, I think Will Smith generated billions of dollars just in views from that slap heard around the world. I wish black people really saw the value in themselves like other people do. But that's the story of America. Everybody makes money off of us except us. And then we go out of our way to help everybody else get rich except each other. And then we sit up there, we want to sell and give our secrets away to the open enemy are people that don't look like us. And then when it comes to, sharing and helping people get where you are, then people talking about game is meant to be sold, not told. Well, you know what? I'm giving y'all game for free. I've been giving people game for free. And the funny thing is, I know for a fact, and dude might deny it, I know for a fact Dr. Boyce Watkins watches my channel. I know he does because I done seen him talk about the same stuff that I talk about, just in a different perspective. And then he's used the same, you know, he's used the same picture images that I've used to talk about certain subject matter. But that's cool. He don't have to say he know me. That's fine. But like I said before, I've just noticed this about him. Like I said, Anton Daniels is doing black men a service. At the end of the day, the problem is he likes to exempt and not hold women accountable for their actions. And that is a major problem, because you give black women, and I have to say in particularly black women, you give them an outing. You give them an outlet and a platform to basically not be held accountable when they do some BS. The only way black people is going to get better if we both take accountability. I'm not saying that black men are totally saints. I would never say that, because there are times where it is the man's fault. But at the same time, it's recognized and it's pointed out. Even when it ain't the man's fault, somehow it'll be the man's fault, in particularly the black man. But the problem is you got too many people protecting black women out here that don't deserve to be protected, who won't issue any of that protection back or defend us. And I'm gonna prove it, because I got a video coming out on Saturday. I'm gonna prove it. So that's all I'm saying about Dr. Boyce Watkins. He just come across, I'm just gonna be honest with you, come across as just being a hater and being jealous. And and I'm just gonna say it, a lot of niggas was jealous of Kevin Samuels, because Kevin Samuels came out of nowhere. He blew up within a year span. This is a dude that went from, like, I don't know, I think he had like 300,000 subscribers. In like a year, he had over 1 million subscribers. And I think a lot of people was jealous, because when he would do his lives, you would see this dude getting $1,000 donations, $500 donations. And a lot of people saw that. So they was figuring out a way to, figure out, how can I be part of that? How can I get that to happen with my channel? So you had a lot of people that was like, okay, I'm gonna be the antagonist. And it didn't work. But like I said, if Dr. Boyce Watkins had such a problem with Kevin Samuels, he should have invited Kevin Samuels on his platform. But I saw what he was doing. And that's just the bottom line. A lot of people was just jealous of the dude, men and women content creators. But I just think he need to leave Anton Daniels alone. I don't know if they are going to continue to like discuss certain subject matters among each other, because like I said, everybody have their lane. Dr. Boyce Watkins have his lane, Anton Daniels have his lane, and Kwame Brown have his lane. But like I said before, I've seen a pattern with Dr. Boyce Watkins doing that. And I just gotta call it out. When Kwame Brown, I think in 2020, early 2021, where he was just like, just making big noise on YouTube. And I saw what Dr. Boyce Watkins did, and I knew what he was trying to do. I said, okay, he's trying to clout chase. Why are you gonna sit up there and try to kind of dry snitch on his channel? And everybody with a brain saw what he was doing. So I'm just saying, I just think Dr. Boyce Watkins need to knock it off, and that's just real talk, because he's sitting up here, trying to read everybody else, but then it's a lot to be read about him. So, I just needed to say that. But anyway, that's just how I feel about the situation. I'm out.